What's up, everybody? It's Dan and Luke from Dark Previews. I'm sipping on a Han ultra low carb beer that has less than 1 gram in carbs, 87 calories, and it tastes like poison. Nah, it's not what you want after you knock off a hard day.
Have you tried these? Because when I went to the footy the other week, they serve them at Penrith. The super dry gluten-free beers.
No, I have not tried that.
They taste like ass. They are fuck. They're worse than those by a mile.
I don't do gluten-free anything. I'm pro gluten.
Pro gluten.
Even if gluten cost extra money, I'd get gluten.
Good man, loyal. But yeah, there's a gluten-free version of that. Terrible.
No, it's not happening. Bernie Huncho, welcome, boys. Let's get amongst it. Let me know what you think of the Origin teams because that's what we're going to kick off with. Let's get straight the fuck into it because I'm not here to fuck spiders. State of Origin. We've got Game 3. Probably the least exciting Origin game we've seen for quite some time. When was the last time a team went 2-0?
I think pretty sure when New South Wales broke the drought, I believe they were up 2-0 and they got flogged Game 3. I could be wrong, but
it feels like a long time. There's always been excitement around Game 3.
Yeah.
And
I'll have to have a look, but
yeah.
I feel like when New South Wales broke the streak, they did it in the first two games, and then Game 3 was a bit of a blowout. I feel like I could be wrong.
Yeah. Either way,
the last clean sweep. For those little statisticians, no, 2010. Yeah, 2010, 3-0. Yeah. So before that, it was 1996. So we are due one. We are due a 3-0.
I think I'm going to see one, but that's just what I'm thinking. I've got my theories. You know what? Fuck it. We're not waiting until next week to talk about what we think is going to happen in this game.
I was right, by the way. The drought-breaking 2014 series, New South Wales were up 2-0 and then went to Queensland, lost 32-8 in Game 3.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Can you pull up the odds for this game, by the way? Well, I've got the lineups.
New South. It's weird to me, but Queensland $1.65, New South Wales $2.25. Line is
so shorter than Game 2.
Yes, in New
Queensland,
South Wales.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, let's start with Queensland first because there's been fuck all changes. They've got Reece Walsh with his potty mouth. He's going to sit down. And Tom Flegler, he is injured. So Flegler replaced by another redhead, which had to be done. Everyone's been calling for it. He's in. I think he will go. He's the type of player that will go mental in Origin. Like he's worse than Flegler when it comes. Well, you could say better than Flegler. I think in a game like this, that's what I think. I reckon.
I think so.
He's going to be everything we thought Tavita Pangai Jr. could be.
Yes, but I think he also gives Queensland that bit of. There's the only thing that I'm going to talk about after is Queensland is the motivation to play. Yep. He's going to come off the bench 1,000 miles an hour, like it's game on the line, series on the line. Like,
yeah, Queensland could win 99 games in a row, and this guy will still be, he'll be ready to die.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
I'm pretty excited to see him get a run. And AJ Brimson slots into fullback. I think that's a really safe choice. He's been in the squad the whole time. He's played Origin before. I think that's the easiest option. I think Plan B probably could have been Munster at fullback. I would have liked to see that, to be honest, and Dearden at 6 because Munster's been shit for a while now. He's been rubbish for the last month. Since Origin started, Munster's dipped. I think his last good game was what? That Sharks game?
Yeah, he wasn't even...
team played good. So it probably wasn't even him.
Wasn't even anything special from him that day. I can't remember a game where I'm like, fuck, he's untouchable. Like, how does he do it this year from him, to be fair?
Yeah. He wasn't that good against Brisbane. I remember that. So he's been down for quite some time, and I think him playing fullback might unleash him a little bit. Or it could be our theory that he's back on the drink. Could just be that. He's drinking again, so he's not that good.
He's not on the ultra low carbs.
Yeah, he's got to get on this 87 calories per bottle, mate. I'll tell you. I don't see any issues with this lineup. It's strong as fuck. Corey Horsburgh adds some excitement, and AJ Brimson's a Kmart version of Reece Walsh, to be honest. It's not that bad. I don't think so. Still a very strong side for the Queensland, for Queensland, to be honest. let's talk about New South Wales. That's what everyone's talking about. No one's talking about Queensland at the moment. New South Wales, if you look at if you go to NRL.com, you look at the ins and the outs, you'd fucking think half of these guys are in a bloody plane crash. And it's like, fuck, we need to field a team for game 3.
It's Penrith after a week before Origin, a week after, when they have their reserve graders play.
Mate, this is like bloody Manly during Pride round. It's fucked up. Like, no one wants to play.
Yeah, that's a good... Yeah.
So looking at the outs, Hudson Young, Jerome Luai, Junior Paulo, Matt Burton, Payne Haas, Utikamanu, Turbo, and Frizzell. Now, a lot of these guys are they're injured, but a lot of people have been dropped as well. Let's go to the changes one by one, not by priority. Firstly, Teddy keeps his fullback spot, so there's no changes there. I personally think that's fine. He deserves to keep that for now. Let him have one last run. But what do you think? Should Teddy stay there for game 3, or should they look to the future?
But what is the future? That's the problem with this whole team. Is Edwards the future? Is it
a lot of them are,
it looks like Gutherson based on...
A lot of them in their late 20s, right? A lot of the fullbacks behind Teddy.
Yeah, like if they go future, is it because based on the team they picked, it's Gutherson. So if they were going to drop Teddy, it would have been for Gutherson anyway.
Gutherson's fucking probably older than Teddy. His body is.
And Drinkwater. It would have been Scott. Like Drinkwater got picked ahead of Edwards. So
sure.
Yeah, keep Teddy in there, I guess.
Yeah. Toto keeps his wing spot. I think he's top 2, best winger in the comp, at least.
Agreed.
That's fair. Critters, he's excellent. Deserves to keep his spot at 3. Now we got Bradman Best gets a starting spot at center. Old mate on 360. They're having a nice run in with Brandy. He's quite offended by it all, to be honest. But Bradman's always been in the conversation. But that's only between Brandy and Freddie, apparently. Firstly, what are your thoughts on the Bradman selection? Does he deserve to be there? And if not, who would you prefer?
No, he doesn't deserve to be there.
Okay.
Is Campbell Graham dead or something?
Potentially, yeah.
Like Katoni, Campbell Graham, he's so far down the pecking order. I think he hasn't even had a good year compared to previous years. It was only a few weeks ago they were ripping him going to Bali to getting a tattoo during a bye round.
Yeah.
Newcastle 2 weeks ago got their pants pulled down against a half full strength, like a weak strength Penrith team.
Yeah.
And then he gets a flogging against the Dogs and he gets picked on it. Like, no, I wouldn't. He looked average against Penrith that night and they're missing all their players. So, no, I wouldn't have him at all.
Jesus. Well, Huncho's just coming with the goss. So Campbell Graham is injured.
Okay, Katoni's in then for me.
I would have went Katoni as well, but
no brainer.
But yeah, Bradman Best, like he's up against some stiff competition. He was a flat track bully last week. He played excellent, but fuck, I probably could have scored one of those tries.
Yeah. I would even go as far as to say if they're going to play someone like him, pick Talakai, even though I don't think Talakai would get in. If they're looking for a damaging ball runner, because defensively he's nothing special, then just put Talakai in there.
It's true. I reckon they just... Well, look, I think where I support it is that he's 21 or something. Fucking blood him. Go for it, right? But you know what confuses me about all these selections? It's not clear whether whether Freddie wants to win this game or he wants to build for the future.
Correct.
He's trying to do both. And it's going to fuck him in the ass. Huncho, you're on the money there. That's who I would have gone with. Your mate, Tungo. He's been bloody excellent.
He's been unbelievable. But even like as it proves, like Burton, I put Burton in the centers. The bloke literally won a comp 2 years ago. Like, why wouldn't you? Again, he'd be perfect. There's so many options. He's so far down on my list. It's not funny. And nobody was talking about him apparently, apart from Fitler and Brandy the whole time. Just like shit. God, they lie.
It's strange. I've got a lot of problems with this New South Wales teams, including the coach. But yeah, it's not clear. Do they want to win this game? Do they want to build to the future? It's probably a bit of both. And I don't think it bodes well because a lot of these young guys, you put them in and then you don't give them a run again. Correct. Like if anything, it damages them.
He has there's a massive long list of players who've played one game and never played again.
Yeah.
And it's growing. I think Cody Walker's going to get his second game now, but like there's so many players he picks and drops after one game. Stefano is one of them now.
Nico.
Nico, yeah, crazy to me.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of other center options. We'll see how he goes. Hope he puts up a good fight, but good luck to him. The Fox, the luckiest man in rugby league, somehow.
Let's try it. He's done nothing even in that. Nothing.
He's been on TV once, so that's when he coward punched someone. That's all he's done.
He's
that's 2023 highlight.
He's I don't know how he.
But who else do you put in there? Because I look at it, it's like, are these the best four wingers that we have in this bloody competition? These four playing?
For him as well, though, you go back like 6 months ago, World Cup, he was the best winger we had for Australia, and he was like killing it.
Yeah.
And then since then has done nothing. So I think there's a fear that the same thing happens where they got burned for not picking him last year because then he went to the World Cup and he was unstoppable.
Yeah, but he was playing good last year. Like, it made sense to pick him. Like, this year he's not playing good at all. Like, you can't justify picking him. Like, it only works if, like, fuck, why not Alex Johnson?
I was going to say, like, in terms of wingers that you asked that could take his spot off the top of my head.
Yeah. Alex Johnson, he's a better finisher. He's like, the Fox is getting burnt by the hammer anyway. Speed's useless.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown off this speed at all. He's never had an opportunity. He's not making meters. He's not diffusing bombs. Like, Xavier Coates going to jump all over him. So, yeah, I don't know. He's a lucky man. That's all I'm going to say. Into the halves. Cody Walker at 6. I think, well, they would have went that way in game 2. He was injured. They've gone with him for game 3. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think, as I said to you, like start of the year, I think the Nico hype was a little. Because he's such a nice guy, everyone jumps on him and everything because he won the Dally M. But people are quick to forget, like the Dally M suits teams where one player does everything, and if they have a semi-decent good season, they win it. Hence why, like for example, Slater, Smith, and Cronk, like they guess well, like Smith definitely won. I think Cronk might have won one or something. It was very hard for them to win every year. So I think it's a kind of that's the pick that says to me, let's just try and win this game. There's no future here because he is a bit older, so try and do something, create something, and
I think. But
it's again, he's playing on Bradman Best's side, so
Bradman's a decoy then. I like the halves for New South Wales. I think based on who they have, let's say if you got Moses, Walker, Luai, Burton, and Nico, I think out of all of them, Moses has to be in. He's the only one that can kick.
Yes.
So then you need a 6 who's going to try to generate some points, and that's going to be Cody or it's going to be Nico. Cody means you need to win this game right now. Nico means you're building for the future. I personally probably would have gone Nico instead of Cody. I think to win this game, Cody's probably the one. I still don't think he wins you the game, but I think that's a clear sign of what you want.
Yeah.
But I personally would have gone Nico because I don't think the Blues have a chance to win this one. So I would have gone Nico, give him a proper game, full 80 minutes, playing in the halves, outside a genuine number 7 who can organise all that shit for him, and he can just run blindsides all day. So... But at the same time, it's not a bad halves pairing. I rate that. Gerbo's back. There's a lot of changes to this forward pack. So game 1 and 2, I felt like the Blues dominated field position, just couldn't score. I think with this pack, they might have a little bit of trouble. There's not much punch, I would say. Gerbo and RCG. I think RCG is deserving, though. He has been pretty good, especially since he came back from injury. Gerbo, not a noted ball runner. Great defensively, but at the same time, Queensland weren't covering New South Wales up through the middle either. So Queensland was burning them out wide.
Is that a typo or was Ruben Cotter playing prop?
No, he's playing prop.
Amazing.
But to be honest, like it'll be Cotter or Carrigan. Like they play the same role.
Yeah.
They play lock, prop, whatever. They'll probably switch. They'll be intertwined. I wonder if he'll play 80 minutes. Cotter's been playing like 70, 80 minutes, both Origin games. So, and I don't think his job changes, to be honest. It just means he'll be playing in the middle. So that's quite interesting. Liam Martin and Cam Murray finally get a start. Can you believe that? Game 3, we start them. Why do you think they've gone with Murray to start, not Isaiah?
I think it's just trying something different. I don't know. Like, again, they've gone from like giving Murray no minutes to starting instead of maybe just bringing him on earlier and see what he could do. But I think it's also the South's combination in the halves and Colin Matangi on. I'm assuming they're going to play Colin Matangi on one side with Cody Walker.
Matangi normally plays the right and Cody's on the left.
Correct.
So is there a benefit to putting them together if they don't normally play together?
Maybe, but they got Damien Cook as well. So I think that's probably what they're thinking. They're going down this stupid thing of combinations.
This combination thing, I don't know. I don't think it works because if it's not a combination. It's the team is built around certain players playing certain roles. It's not, hey, we play at the same club. We're gonna like even the Hammer and fucking Tuolangi was shit for the Cowboys.
Yeah,
the combination was awful. We still put them together for Queensland, but yeah, I'm not sure. I have question marks on this whole club combinations thing.
No, to me, it's different club.
You tried it with Penrith, the Penrith combination. Now we're going with the South combination.
Yeah, they've gone. They're at the same time. The Penrith combination's gone back to clubland, and they're starting to peak and make the comp look silly again. So clearly, it's not a combination thing that's faulting it, or it just doesn't work. Like
the Blues didn't play the way the Panthers do. The Panthers
for a combination,
have 17 players in sync.
Correct. For a combination to work, the whole team's got to be playing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. It's really interesting. And like you decide, let's go the South route when South are at their worst.
Yeah, like their game against the Warriors was the first good game they played in 2 months.
Yeah. And the conditions played for an upset there. When the conditions are as bad as they were in that game, you just better off backing the dog. Yeah. Brings everything in. So yeah, I don't know. Question marks on the South thing. And then there's a lot of talk around the bench. Isaiah, Saifidi, Robson, and Gutherson. Like Saifidi, he probably runs 100 meters a match.
Yeah.
Like it's not very impressive. That Newcastle team sucks up the middle. Even though they destroyed the Dogs last week, it wasn't because of their forwards.
No. It's because the Dogs were shit.
The Dogs are shit from between the second rows and their halves. They were awful. So I don't know, but I think the Saifidi boys tend to lift during Origin anyway, so I don't hate it. It's just based on form and how he's played this year. I'd question it. You got Robson and Gutherson on the bench there, so it's like fuck. We keep losing centers. We need to have someone in there.
No,
but for the first time, you're not playing centers who are injury prone. I don't see Crichton or Best getting hurt in this one.
No, we'll watch one of them. Well, now that you've said it, but.
Nah, it doesn't work that way. They'll be fine. Bradman's a beast. Did you see that game the other week where he had this big gash on his back? Did you see that? And his whole jersey covered up in blood?
Bizarre injury, but
I really wanted to see what happened under there, to be honest. Maybe he could have had a boil under there. Who knows? But it was
true. I thought maybe someone stepped on him like a player.
It looked like something burst. But anyway, what do you think of the bench? Especially the Robson and Gutherson thing. What's going on here?
It's shit bench.
It's a shit bench.
Right. It's like if there's injuries, you need the right people to go down for it to work. And if there's not, how are you going to inject Gutherson into the game?
You're banking on an injury here. You want one to justify the selections.
Otherwise, it's shit. Like Gutho plays in the middle. Like, where will he go on? Like, it's such a shit. Like, you've got someone, Spencer Lenu, just sitting there at 19. Like, fucking hell. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But, again, not a lot has this Origin series, so.
Yeah. It's a pretty average Origin team, to be honest. Like,
people have even questioned, is it the worst Origin team in 40 years in New South Wales pick? I think it is. I can't remember a team this bad.
None of the players are shit. Like, they're all really good players. I think just as a team, I don't see how it's going to work. Like, it doesn't scream aggression. It's not a team built on pace. It's not like, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with this team. It's pretty bad.
It's honestly, I think it's the worst one. I look at that team top to bottom. How many of that 17, if an Australian team was made tomorrow, would make it? Martin,
probably Murray or Yo, and that's
one of them two, maybe. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. 3. The rest are literally like Teddy. I know Walsh isn't playing, but you'd always argue Walsh will get in ahead of Teddy right now. Yeah, like Val's definitely getting in one center spot. I think the Hammer's definitely outplaying.
Yeah.
Well, Crichton won again. Toto wouldn't play for Australia. Toto played for Samoa.
It's true.
Like,
I think Cole was the first winger picked.
Yeah. It's such, and Tolangi I would have ahead of Adokar. Munster, like, again, top to bottom. That's why I think it's. I think it's the worst. I can't think of a worse team. Even when we were getting flogged every year, we still had very good teams on paper. It's just
That's true.
Queensland had,
and a lot of the times, like
stacked.
Even when they had that dominant period, Queensland, the difference was just the spine.
Yeah, and if you go back, apart from that one series you said, it was 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, and it was close. It wasn't like there was blowouts in those games. It was just like every time Queensland
was individual brilliant. Something GI would go nuts, or someone would do something crazy. So yeah, this team sucks. So
it'll probably win now that we've said it, but it sucks. Like,
I think Queensland 13 plus is value. $3.50.
That is value.
$3.50, and I'd be toying with other margin markets, to be honest, for this game. 18 plus.
What I'll look into, and I think there's opportunity. Look at some of these players who've been
$6.
Been called in, like Bradman Best. They're going to have a plan and target him defensively, so he's going to get caught out. Cody Walker defending, like, there's a reason why Cody hasn't been picked, and he does struggle in big games. Like, that's the truth. It's just, load up on, like, your forwards, for example, because that bench in New South Wales, it's going to be big minutes for some of those boys, and they're going to be very tired.
I think one of the Queensland forwards off the bench will score.
Yeah.
Probably Collins again, or Horsburgh.
Horsburgh, 850. Oof.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of value. I think I'm going to be betting with the mindset that Queensland are going to run riot, and a lot of New South Wales fans are just, you're going to be sitting in the park waiting for trains and be pissed off. And they'll all be saying, fuck, I knew this was going to happen. I wish I never bought these tickets.
Val Holmes is $2.95 anytime. $3 for Val Holmes to score a try. Oof.
You're kidding.
Yeah, he loves an origin try. Loves a try lately, full stop.
Yeah, I'd max that out.
Again,
everyone's over $2.
You know what's funny with what I said about the first game stat? His first try scorer record is like, fucking didn't get on it. They got on it, didn't get up, didn't get on second game, scores first try in second game. Like, he's value.
Value Holmes.
He's $13 anytime. I mean, first try scorer again.
Jesus. Yeah. I'm going to bet with the principle that Queensland are going to absolutely pump these fuckers, to be honest. It's going to be glorious. Everyone's going to go to work the Thursday and say, I knew it. Everyone's going to say, I knew it. No one's going to be, like, surprised with the outcome unless New South Wales do something surprising, and everyone is going to be surprised. But I think the Blues get towelled up, Freddie gets sacked, yada, yada, yada. Like, they're going to shit on him. The New South Wales or the Sydney media is absolutely going to shit on this bloke.
For me to think about a New South Wales win, it'll be Queensland not showing up. It's not going to be New South Wales click and outperform Queensland. It'll be like Queensland just didn't have any motivation, just did nothing. That's the only way I can see it.
Billy's too big, too good of a coach.
And I agree he wouldn't do that. I just cannot see a world where that team clicks and outperforms that Queensland. There's so many issues with that New South Wales team.
Yeah. Andre, if one or more New South Wales forwards get injured or out with a HIA, they're fucked. Well, my thought is, even if they don't get injured, they're still fucked.
It's just fucked, full stop.
Yeah. Like, they're missing Payne Haas. He's the best prop in the game. He's a huge out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Tyson Frizzell did wrong, to be honest. I thought he's been solid.
I don't know what they've done with half the picks.
Yeah. They're not scoring points, but it's not Tyson's fault. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a drubbing here. Yeah, look, it's just another game for me. I'm not overly excited by it, but it is Origin after all. But there's definitely value on the cards. There's value in the try scorers. Queensland at $1.65. That's probably one of the safest $1.65s you'll see in a while.
Agree.
So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Anything else on Origin?
No, nothing else.
Nothing else? All right, beautiful. Let's get into rugby league. Fuck, it's always weird betting the same week of Origin because, or the week before, people are missing. And then next week's going to be a bit corrupt too. But we start things off with an absolute bludger. Last week, we had two teams absolutely dominated, held to nil. We get one of those tomorrow night. It's the Tigers versus Cronulla. Cronulla are $1.06. The Tigers are at $9.50. Some people probably get boosted odds for fucking $12. The line is now 23.5. I think it was 18.5 not too long ago. So everybody's feasting on the Sharks to absolutely annihilate these blokes, and for good reason. 74-0 last week. The Tigers lost. The Sharks have beat the Dragons 52-16. Canterbury 48-10. I think we see a similar scoreline based off that because there's no teams worse than the Dragons, Dogs, and the Tigers right now. But what do you think? So I ask you this probably about one game a week. Around, is this too easy? Does this make too much sense? And I did it last week. I said this New Zealand Warriors one, is this too easy? Is it too straightforward? And you said it is, but the upset happened. I'm not saying there's going to be an upset here. Let's not fuck around. But
it's crazy that Cronulla don't have a single Origin player.
Yeah, because they suck. They're not that good.
Yeah, but like they're running third. They're the ultimate flat track bully team. And unless weather fools me crazy, they'll flog them. Like it's very hard to go against the line here, even though it's so big. When the Tigers had 74 put on them, they lost by 22 to Melbourne. Last 2 weeks of Sharks, they put 52 on the Dragons and 42 on Canterbury.
Look, I'll tell you one thing to look at. Look at every team Cronulla have beaten. They're all shit teams, or it was Parramatta when they couldn't win a game.
Yeah, they've beat. That's what I mean. This lines up for a perfect game for Cronulla. Like,
yeah,
anyone else outside of the Dogs. And I'll tell you what about a 3-game run for the Sharks? They've gone Dogs, Dragons, and now Tigers. Talk about a fucking easy run after a bye.
Matchmakers. You know, they don't even train throughout the week.
Yeah. Recent games head-to-head. Sharks won by 24. They won by 26. They won by 30. You got to go back to COVID last time Tigers did anything. So but then you got the bounce back effect. Like a team can't be that bad 2 weeks in a row, but then 74 points is fucking huge.
And their team's only gotten worse.
Yeah, they've lost Nade and Twal and Norfoluma, but again, they're fucking shit, so it doesn't matter. They lost 2 wingers and a forward who's scored his first try. I'm taking the line. It's massive, I know, but this could be 12 all at half time, and I'd still be confident that they'll get the fucking 26 points and cover it in the second half.
Yeah. I like the Sharks minus 11.5 in the first half. I think nice blowout, nice and early. Because you know, some teams, like, they'll dust a team up in the first half and just chill in the second.
Yeah.
They just coast a little bit, get a little bit loose, errors, intensity drops off. I could see something like that happening. But I can also see the Tigers turning up for the first half until eventually getting blown away by talent. So I think it's a bit risky all around. But yeah, like everyone else, I can see the Sharks doing a bit of damage here. But in terms of looking at value, if we look at what a try score is like $1.20. All right, Ronaldo is $1.30. Katoa at $1.45, hasn't scored in almost 2 months. Kennedy $1.65. So I think there's value in something like Ramian, Nikora, Talakai, and Teague Wilton. So they're all between $2 to $3. I reckon they'll all score.
You know, it's like a stupid market. Like I like betting on it as the first, second, or third try scorer market. For the Sharks, Ronaldo Mulatalo is $2.40 to score the first, second, or third. Sione Katoa $2.80 first, second, or third. Kennedy $3.40. They're like fucking basically a decent anytime try scorer price, and they're back them to score the first three. That just shows that they don't believe the Tigers are going to get close and score a try.
That's the thing. If the Sharks are going to blow these fuckers off, anyone can score. A lot of the time, the wingers score because the defense is putting up a fight.
Yeah,
and
they have to.
Them to go to that point.
Yeah,
that's why in that Newcastle game, the bloody wingers barely scored.
Well, Dom Young didn't, and Ponga didn't.
Ponga didn't, yeah. And Marzu just scored.
Marzu just did, and the centres were getting tries for fun in the forwards.
Yeah,
and Crossland in the hooking role.
So I think there's value in those between $2 to $3. That's what I'd be thinking about. I'm personally probably going to play a multi with all of them. Ramium, Nickera, Talakai,
Teague Wilson surely gets over. Like that is just, it's going to happen there.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm not going to touch the line on this one because look, it's 24 points. It's a lot, and the Sharks can be a little bit laxed. They can let teams score some points, and the Tigers can be a little bit frantic at times, which is a bit unpredictable. But look, the Sharks, excellent fortnight of rugby league. But yeah, I could see a 30 to 20 game, 36 to 20. Like it could be high scoring. So I was going to go overs, but the total's like 48.5.
It's huge, yeah, and that's what I'm worried. Tigers won't score any points. Like that's basically.
You don't know how wet it's going to be.
You're taking the 48.5 on the basis Cronulla score 44 of them. Otherwise, you're not getting there. Like you're better off if you think the overs are hitting, going to Sharks points overs, which is sitting at
what is it? 32, 34,
33.5. Like,
there you go.
I think that's to say if you want to play the overs, you play the Sharks overs because then at least it's. Yeah, to get 48, you need Tigers to fucking score, which I'm not backing.
Yeah. No, I think there's more value in the try score. If I just take Teague Wilton at 270, I'd prefer to take that than trying to get the Sharks to score 34 points or...
Yeah.
Because I think they'd have to score 30 plus points to cover the line anyway.
Correct.
You'd assume the Tigers probably score one. They can't go to 0 2 weeks in a row, surely. Fucking hell.
It's Tigers.
They've got to get lucky. Like something will happen. But yeah, so I'm picking a try score. So, and you're taking the line in this one, are you?
I'll take Sharks overs into Sharks. Sorry, Sharks points overs. Sharks to cover the handicap into Teague Wilton anytime. There's your juice.
Sheesh.
I'm not going all in. I'm going close to all in. And to get that, you finish on 433 for a same game multi.
I'm doing a same game multi right now. I'm actually going to do two of them. So the very first one, I'm taking Ronaldo and Kennedy, 3+ tries. That's at $5. I'll rate that one. That's not even a multi, actually. That's just one play. What am I talking about? But I'm going to do one where if Ronaldo probably gets a double, Kennedy can sneak in for one. So we're talking outside back heavy. But then the other one, I'll hit all four of those blokes to score a try, which is Ramian, Nickera, Talakai, Teague Wilton as well. Yeah. So even if I play just all five of those players, I'm looking at least, that's if they run riot. I need them to score at least probably 7, 8 tries, probably 9, 10 tries for Cronulla. So we're looking at 50 to 60 points, which is ridiculous. $171 odds. So yeah, I'll be playing those two as a multi.
I like it.
All right. Let's get into the Dragons versus the Raiders match. So Dragons, absolute dog shit since the Ben Hunt news. Well, dog shit all year round, but Ben Hunt was their only chance, to be honest. They've lost their last two games by 30+ points. Cronulla and the Warriors. The Raiders, sneaky good. Great record as of late. Just the blemish is getting burnt by Manly round 12 and shitting the bed in Croker's 300. Outside of that, still sneaking some games home, and they're loving the 1-12s. They've won more 1-12 games than anyone in the comp. What do you think happens here?
Raiders 1-12.
Raiders 1-12?
Yeah, Dragons for me. Be interesting to see how they go without Ben Hunt.
I reckon they'll play better.
Yeah, I think so too. I think part of them are like, fucking, you're dead set ruining our club at the moment, even though there are other things probably going on.
Yeah, I reckon they're like, fuck you, you croaky-voiced, hairy-knuckled motherfucker. We're going to play better without you.
Yeah. So I reckon they'll keep it competitive, but I don't think they'll win. So I like the Rays 1-12. You get them for 3.15.
Yeah, I think Raiders 1-12 is the go-to. Even if the Raiders get out to 18-0, which they often do in the first half, I like the Raiders to cover the first half as well. They just somehow just let people back in all the time.
Yeah.
So
They're never
love a close one.
I'm never comfortable watching them going, yep, they've got this wrapped up. So never.
So they were up 6 against Gold Coast at halftime, 1-4. Up 12 against the Roosters, 1-2. Up 12 against the Tigers, 1-1. Up 10 against South, 1-7. What else is there? Tied with Para, 1-8. Up 4 against Canterbury and 1-4. And then the Dolphins when they're up 10 and they won by 1. So yeah, they just find a way to let teams back in. So I think Canberra in a close one. They don't have the team to blow people off the park anyway, to be honest.
Nah, mate. Fogarty's in the half that's going to put the sword to them, and their back line. It's solid, but it's not a run length of the field, creative attack. So
yeah. Okay. We both like Raiders 1-12. Nothing more needs to said about these bags of trash. We got Para versus the Warriors though. That's going to be an interesting game. So Moses, Gutherson, RCG,
Dylan Brown
who else
still
is out? Dylan Brown
still chilling,
just chilling, kicking back. Is Junior out as well?
No, Junior Barlow's playing.
He's playing.
Yeah.
Okay. They've got what? Ryan Madison playing 6 again.
Yep.
I'd assume.
Dijon Arcee in halfback.
Jeez. It's going to be... Who's playing fullback?
Penasini. Sorry, Sean Russell. Sorry, Sean Russell. Yeah, Penasini's in the centre, sorry.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And for the Warriors, Sean Johnson's most likely not going to play, but other than that, pretty
sure. Is he out?
It's a maybe. Child? It's depending on the birth of his child, but I think it makes... Well, you can't really predict. It's not like clockwork unless you plan to induce her. So I think let's go with the assumption that he's not going to play.
Okay.
But Para on a great win streak at the moment. They've won 5 games in a row. Unbeaten since round 11, really. So they're going well. The Warriors lost last week, 28-6. Couldn't handle the wet conditions. But prior to that, we're on a 3-game win streak. Games at CommBank. Warriors are the favourites at $1.62. I saw a lot of people going straight on the Warriors. Not because Moses is out, but because Gutho's out. But then the news of Sean Johnson potentially being out, I don't know if that levels things. I think the Warriors probably have a better team. They're better coached. The way that I'm thinking about it is I'm thinking unders, to be honest. Because I'm thinking you're missing so much points. Like if Sean Johnson's the conductor and he's not there, they don't have a kicker. Who's the young bloke from the Cronulla? What's his name?
Metcalf.
He can't kick to save his life. And if Volkman's playing for 7, he's naturally a 6, and he can't kick to save his life either. And Moses isn't there. So who the hell's going to kick the ball? Like, there's going to be some terrible ends to the sets of 6. I just think unders might be on. I think both teams will give a shit. The attitude will be right. So it could be one of those grindy battles up in the middle. What are your thoughts? Am I completely off here, or am I reading too far into it?
No, I like that, but I've gone something slightly different. I've gone either team to win 1-12. So either team win 1-12, no, at $2.15. Here's why.
So you think there's a 13 plus either way?
Either side. This could go either way. If Sean Johnson doesn't play, I could see them just shitting the bed and doing awful. If Sean Johnson plays, I think they can grind and keep Para out and win like 20-0 or 20-6 or something. I just think they will be I think the Warriors will be defensively strong, but if they're missing Johnson, then they're going to struggle to score points. But it covers that, for me, it covers that gamble if he plays or not, which he probably won't.
If he plays and they blow them out, they could go over.
They could, but if he doesn't play, I could easily see Para continuing on a run because they're at home as well. And the Warriors, again, I know they're playing a lot better this year, but that is on the back of Sean Johnson playing well and having that senior head there steering them around. So, plus, I know it was shit conditions. They were pretty bad last week, though, as well. So,
what odds are you getting for that?
215.
215 for it to go 13 plus either way. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't hate that. I don't hate it at all. Okay. I like your thinking.
Because if he's named, I'll be like, yep, perfect. I'm happy. I'll take the Warriors and win 13 plus here. The line obviously doesn't point to it at 3.5, but it's just that little security that even if he does play and they play as bad as they did last week and Para continue clicking and putting on scores. Because if you look at Para recently, I know they're missing players, but they do win by a bit. They're the only team with a positive for and against outside the 8, I believe, or one of the strong. No, they're in the 8 now. Warriors, on the other hand, they lost by 22. They won by 30. They won by 22. They won by 22. And you have to go back to the Broncos game 5 weeks ago where they lost by 4. But everything else is one way or the other.
That was looking like a 13 plus anyway.
Yeah.
I like your thinking.
It's hard. I'd either avoid it or do that. And I'm just obviously going to have a play. So,
of course. All right, let's get into this next one. South v the Dogs. South $1.54. Dogs $2.48, despite the shellacking they got. Cody Walker's out. Murray, Cook, Keon Matangi. They got Dean Hawkins at 6. Havili at hooker. Ben Lovett and Shaq Mitchell. Liam Knight in the reserves. The Dogs get Toby Sexton, though. Finally get a half back. Hayes Perham wasn't named. Averillo goes to fullback. Topine, Braden Burns are in the centres. Oluwapu named along the reserves. Gus Gould came out this week, so it's only going to get worse. They say this place is fucked. Buyer's remorse. I don't understand why he's saying it's going to get worse. Like, you made all these signings.
Yeah, and they've gone backwards, apparently.
And you've gone backwards. And he's like, we expected it to go backwards.
That's a lot of shit.
You could have just, if you're going to get worse, just keep the same. You could have had fucking Action Jackson out there still.
Hey.
You know? So, yeah, I think there's a bit of smoke and mirrors there. I think he's just taking the pressure off the club.
Well, it's true, though, because last year they won 7 games. This year they've won 4. They need to win 3 more out of what their last. How many rounds are left? Like 8, 9 rounds. They nearly got to win nearly half of the games. They're not going to win. So they are going to finish worse than they did last year with a much more inferior squad because they added Kick Out and Reid Marnie was their big signings, and Tavita Pangai this year. So
who was their hooker last year? Jeremy Marshall King?
Yeah, and he went to the Dolphins and was killing it.
He's heaps better than Marnie.
Oh, huge! And you'd be saving like 600,000 there. Like, Jeremy Marshall King would have been like 300,000 tops.
Yeah, true. But, yeah, this is an interesting one. A depleted Rabbitohs team against a struggling Dogs team. This, I don't know. It smells like I bought chicken on sale. I was going to make a Malaysian chicken curry, and I cut open the packet and the chicken's off.
Yeah.
Like, you're ordering Uber Eats. Like most people are. But there are some sick fuckers, absolute degenerates, who'd still eat it and still bet on this game. I personally don't want to touch it because I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. I might just back Tyson Monroe to score because there's a lot of hype around him, to be honest. But yeah, it's just what about you? What are you thinking here?
The only one which I'm similar. I'm not going to touch it. But the one market I did like was Dogs under 18.5. I can't see them scoring 4 tries. I know South's missing players, but my God,
Sexton, man, Sexton.
Yeah, true. Sexton is the difference. Like,
man, he came from the Titans club. They score on anyone. They just can't stop points.
Yeah,
and it's not because of him. But I'll tell you what, Toby Sexton loves a repeat set. I think he led the comp in repeat sets that time he was playing full time. He was just grubbering all day. Grubber applying pressure, which a lot of teams don't do these days. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want to touch anything unless I can get bloody decent value for Tyson Monroe to score.
Yeah,
$1.82. You can't even get that. So nothing from me. It's a no from me.
Actually, the only one maybe, but I know these players is Johnston anytime at $1.70. But
does he score much when Cody's not there?
I don't know. That's the stat you have to look up actually. But I don't know.
Because Dean Hawkins will be playing there. Who the fuck's that?
He's been battling away there in reserve grades for a while.
Yeah, but surely he's no Cody. So, well, we got Taff sweeping around. He's got some ball playing, so the long ball could be on. But I don't know. Maybe Tom Burgess scoring or Cheekham scoring. I can see like grubby shit like that happening. Keeping in mind the Dogs got torn up through the middle last week. And even though this Rabbitohs forward pack looks like rubbish on paper, it's really just as good as the Knights one.
Yeah, I would. Shaq Mitchell playing lock. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I'd say it's just as competitive.
Yeah,
I got Tavita Pangai going from New South Wales to the interchange for the Bulldogs. What a fucking gross.
He'll be dropped next week. Well, he is one of the scapegoats for the whole thing. I think he's got to get out of there.
Yeah,
to be honest, because he's easy to hate, that bloke. Easy to love, easy to hate, but he's going to cop the brunt of it, I think. Even though it's not his fault, the whole team sucks.
Yeah,
like how many of them can hold their head up high?
None.
Preston, and that's it.
Yeah, probably this year.
Burden's still kicking it. Like what? Burden's first 2 plays last weekend, he 7 tackle sets.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Poor TPJ. All right. I'm not touching it. I encourage everyone to avoid that whatsoever. But we know people are going to touch it. So I reckon I'd just chuck $10 on a multi with 3 players and I don't know who they are. I'm going to do one of those where I don't know who they are. And I probably watch every rugby league game in the last 4 years. And some of these players, I have no idea who they are. I know Tallis Duncan because he got interviewed by Gordon Tallis because he was named after Gordon Tallis. That's the only reason I know that guy's name. So I'm going to pick him to score. I'll pick him. I'll pick Ben Lovett. He'll score. And I might even just go Toby Sexton on debut.
Yeah.
Put $10 on that and make it interesting for me to watch because I don't know what's happening in that game. My God. I might even make plans for Saturday night. Let's get into the last game. Sunday, 4 p.m. It's the Gold Coast Titans versus the Dolphins. East Queensland teams going at it again. Titans $1.73 favourites. Dolphins $2.11. So the Titans obviously missing their origin contingent. AJ Brimson, Fafita, Fodawaker, and Tino. They're pretty big outs. Like for a team that's not, they're going okay because they're the Titans, but in comparison to every other team, they're not going that well. They're missing their 4 best players. And Isaac Liu is still starting. That guy is just dropping.
Did you see he's not going again? Do you think straight away I'm like, once he did, I'm like, God, he loves a bad, like, not even it's just a simple drop. He drops it cold every week.
Yeah.
He's good.
I reckon he's got a glass eye or something because he's not seeing things properly. So Titans have got a lot of big outs. The Dolphins only missing 2. Felice is that's a concussion, I think.
Yeah.
Felice is a concussion. Hammer's playing Origin. But they've still got a somewhat decent team, I would say. Sullivan's back, but he's not playing as good as he was at the start of the year. Milford's back. He's on the bench after his suspension. Like, I think the Dolphin team's still decent. And for them to be outsiders, $2.11, they weren't that bad last week. Broncos weren't that good either. I think both teams played pretty poor, to be honest. Yeah, it's a tricky one, but I'd price this at $1.90 each way, to be honest. I'm probably leaning more towards the Dolphins, but yeah, what are your thoughts? What's going on here?
I like Dolphins over 22.5 points.
Yeah.
I think, Titans missing those plays, but even with those plays, Titans leak points. The Raiders, there was some bizarro defending. Even the Tigers scored 2 tries against them.
Yeah.
So I'm not convinced defensively. I know they beat your boys, but you guys had a bazillion disallowed tries and
Nah,
the ball went against you. South put 46 on the Titans. The Dogs even scored 20, and look how bad the fucking Dogs are. So when the Dogs are scoring 20, I can think the Dolphins can get 22.5. The only thing is the Dolphins' defense is a bit how you going.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the other day against you guys, they were in that game. If it wasn't lazy defense with Cobbo, chip and chase, and no real urgency to get the ball.
Hey, how about that? Did you see that play where they touched the sideline twice? Did you see that?
Yeah, the ball got thrown back 3 times would have been.
Yeah, I didn't want to be biased. It was at least 2.
It was a bad call. It was.
That was kind of cool. I was buckling a little bit. I was not impressed in that. What I took out of that game, to be honest, I was like, our attack is so bad without Reece Walsh, and it's even worse. I don't know what Kevy's thinking playing Carrigan in the second row. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing also what I like about, which goes to your point with the Dolphins, is they're actually not their record against. You guys love a Queensland derby now. Everything's a fucking Queensland derby, even though we might as well call it New South Wales derbies. The Queensland team form, they're actually very good. Lost to the Broncos by 6, again flying. Beat the Cowboys, beat the Titans, then lost to the Broncos by 8. So they're actually very close and competitive. And if you take out those other games, so take those games out, they've looked pretty ordinary because they've gotten flogged by a lot of teams. But there seems to be these Queensland games that
they get up for because they're everybody's younger brother right now. So
I've just talked myself into Dolphins plus 2.5.
Yeah, I think it's a good play, to be honest. I'm thinking Dolphins 1-12. I'm thinking overs, but it's fucking almost 50 points.
Yeah, that's. I think it's too. If it was like 42, I'd be slamming it. But that's
50. If you're going overs, there's a good chance of a 13 plus.
Yeah.
You're predicting a lot of points. It's hard to get these games where you score more than 50 and it's 1-12.
Yeah, Dolphins 1-12. I've taken it. There we go. 350.
He's been talked in.
For all these floggings, I've got so many 1-12s. Oh god.
I'm thinking, try scorers. I know what the Titans score like more than 50% of their tries on their left side, which is Khan Pereira and Kelly. But I think he'll be a bit short. The Dolphins also leak a lot of tries on that side. In terms, actually, the Dolphins leak on the edges, full stop. We know the Dolphins like to attack right, which is Jermaine Asarko's side. And the Titans' left-hand defense isn't that bad. So, I don't know. I think there's probably value in one of the second rowers, like a Lemuelu or something. But yeah, for now, I'm thinking Dolphins head-to-head. I'm just going to take it plus money. Yeah. I'm gonna ride with the Dollies. I think they've got the much stronger forward pack. I think if you look at their forwards, they probably have better forwards in every position.
Yeah.
Every position. Yep. Not taking that back. Even Ray Stone. He's better than Isaac Liu, I'll tell you that.
Fucking handling wise, Jesus.
Yeah. I think backline's pretty comparable. I think it's pretty fair. Halves pairing, pretty fair. It depends on Kieran Foran, how good he plays. He could be a difference maker, but backline's pretty even. I think the Dolphins have better forwards and they have a better bench. So they got a better coach too.
That too.
Yeah.
They have a coach. Titans don't have a coach at the moment. They've got an interim.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. All right. We're riding with the Dollies. Quick recap what I'm on. So I'm going to put this in a multi. I'll throw $10 at it. Looking at $40 odds if I power play it. I'm taking firstly, I'm taking Teague Wilton to score. I've got the unders in the Parramatta Warriors game, Raiders 1-12, and the Dolphins head-to-head. $40. What do you got?
I got Raiders 1-12, Sharks minus 23.5, Teague Wilton anytime, over 35.5 Sharks points. Either team 13 plus in the Para Warriors game, Dolphins 1-12. That's paying 116-1 if you multi it.
I live for a multi. Spend less, I always say. Win more.
Yeah, that's a good strat.
Lose more often. That's what I'm rolling with. All right. I'm submitting. All right, interesting. I think if you're chasing big money, if you can go unders in that power game, get some try scores, you got some good money. I think you run 2 different sets of multis in that Tigers-Sharks game. You back one with like the wingers and fullbacks for the Sharks to get 2 tries each or something. That's one multi. Or you back all those guys, your centers, second rowers, maybe Hazelton off the bench, if you're going to get fucked by Ronaldo. So I think that's a good play there. And then if you go the Raiders 1-12, because I'm confident in that happening, but Raiders 1-12, the Dragons are still going to score points. I think they'll still get between 18 to 24 points, and you're looking at your Sloans or your Ravalawas to score. So I think it's a good opportunity there. And this Dolphins game is good. They're saying there's going to be a lot of points, but they don't have heaps of notable try scorers.
Correct.
The hammer's out, so you're looking at Jermaine to score. A lot of people will be on Jermaine, and a lot of people will be on Cam Pereira. So Jeremy Marshall-King's always good for a sneaky dart, so that could be interesting too. But yeah, these Origin impacted ones, difficult to punt with. They make it easier on your pocket by only giving you 5 games anyway. So
thank you, Sportsbet.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you should remember, what's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelpline.org.au. You know what? Don't do that. Get yourself to your local BWS, pick up a Hahn, ultra low carb beer, less than 1 gram of carbs, less than 87 calories. I'm just practicing. We'll get sponsored one day, and I'm going to have to read shit like that. So
you're ready.
Be ready. Any last words before we wrap this up? I'm getting tired.
Nothing. You've said it all, mate. You've just plugged beer. You've just given gambling advice. You've done everything, mate.
Yeah. I've got to get back to plugging some things, I think. All right, bros. Good luck this week. I'll catch you next week. Thank you all for tuning in. Huncho, Bernie, thanks for keeping that chat on fire. We'll see you next week, boys.
Yeah.